I got a stat for you here. Last weekend, Carolina much better on third down, Perry, and they're going to have to be pretty good on third down this week, I believe, to go win the ball game. 8 of 15, but 7 of those 8 were picked up by LaNorris Sellers and his legs. How about that? On first down, in 25 plays that they ran on first down last week, 6 of them they threw the football, 19 of them they ran it, okay? All 6 passes were completed. All 6 were for 12 yards or more. Every one of them picked up a first down on first down, except for the 12-yarder to Vandrevius Jacobs because they had just committed a false start. So they were 2nd and 3 at minimum. Obviously, the run game's got to get going. It got a little shot from LaNorris's legs, specifically on third down against the Wildcats last week. It's not like they're going to throw it every time on first down. They have to run the football. They're going to have to run the football. How do you take the success through the air and allow that to open up the game on the ground?
Certainly. So positive plays on first down. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. That made a huge difference in the ballgame versus Kentucky. Now, let's talk about this game specifically. Blake Baker, defensive coordinator, big man-to-man guy. He loves it. Going back to Coach Spurrier. Coach Spurrier would salivate when we were playing a man-to-man team. The pick concepts, the double slant, slant flat, drags, meshes, our drag concept Z, Y, getting different formations, run the tight end drag, There's so much you can do from a pass game in man-to-man to give your quarterbacks layouts. Disguise it, run the same plays, give them efficient throws. And then the quarterback run game. Quarterback run game versus man-to-man teams, you can eat them alive. And maybe Blake Baker coming out of the bye week wants to play zone, yet to be determined. But even still, I thought a big progression of LaNorris's game last week, or 2 weeks ago technically, was number 1 wasn't there, number 2 wasn't there, boom, gone, I'm running. Yep. And that decisiveness was a game changer, and that was some of the things he did really well last year. If we win this football game Saturday night, it's going to be because of plays like that. If it's 2nd and 5, he's getting 6. 3rd and 4, he's getting 5. Things like that, because he's going to have to. Now, what's Perkins' first name, the guy from LSU?
Harold
Perkins will be spying LaNorris Sellers when they play man-to-man. So, got to get a hat on him. You get him occupied, and I think we're going to play well. I really do. We get better as the season goes along, have every year under Coach Beamer. I expect that to be the same. I don't expect us to go down there and have 500 yards of offense, but do I think we can go down there and play well and have 400 yards of offense? I do. I don't think that they're elite on defense. I think they're talented, not elite. You look at the Florida game versus LSU. Florida threw 5 interceptions, 5, and won 20-10, one of which went back for a touchdown. Florida's not very good. I'd venture to say we're a better team than Florida. So can we go down there and win? Absolutely. If you guys haven't noticed, LaNorris plays really, really well on the road and always has. And he's got that calm demeanor, which you need when you go into places like that. My thing is, does the defense show up and take the football away? If we do that, 2+ turnover, we win the turnover margin by 2, we will win the football game. And if we don't, then JB's buying us all dinner. So,
you sure have made me feel important and smart. Carolina has forced a turnover in 17 straight Power 4 games, and during that stretch, when the opponent turns it over 2 or more times, the Gamecocks are 8-3, Perry. And when the opponent turns it over 2 or more times, I think that's very important. I am so curious what this QB situation is going to look like. Nussmeier is not on the availability report. I know that. They say he's going to go. He is going to start. We expect that. That's fine. He's still got an oblique injury. I just don't see any way that LSU has not fully prepared Michael Van Buren to get out there and play snaps as well. Now, if Nussmeier isn't touched and he's just lighting up the nighttime sky, I'm sure he'll hang around. But if it starts flaring up on him and the offense isn't moving, and it hasn't moved much this year, I think Carolina's going to see a second quarterback down there. So if you're the Gamecocks defense this week, what do you think preparation's been like?
Yeah, you got to get ready for both. You do. I hope Nussmeier plays with the injury and he tries to tough it out because that oblique injury, dude, that's a bear to throw the ball with that. Right in your core, you use your core and you're rotating when you're throwing the football. If he plays, they're going to focus on running the football, and we better have packed our big boy bags and get ready to run fit on Saturday night because they're going to make it a point of emphasis because of that injury. We know that. I don't think that's rocket science there. But if not, then they're going to bring the other guy in, and when that happens, young dual threat quarterbacks, I would play zone coverage in Tampa 2 until the cows came home. He's going to drop back, have no idea what he's looking at, try to run. You got a defensive line that can contain him, and let him throw into a soft Tampa 2 defense. That's what that will. And honestly, the way that Clayton White's teams play that their quarters coverage, which I love, is the first time I've heard it. Backside safety is not occupied. He's climbing to the middle to take that post away. That's why we don't see a ton of deep plays against the defense, right? We'll bend, but there's very, very rarely are we just getting burned over top of our head. And that's why he has statistically really good defenses. And, he's been a great, solid coach, great play call. But the turnovers for me is the hot button.
Perry, you looking at a receiver in Vendravius Jacobs, who has a chance to go for 103 games in a row, first time since Deebo Samuel. You just mentioned LSU loves to play man. This would seem like a game. If you're going to open it up, if you're going to take the top off, you got a guy. You got a defense that plays right into it. You see some big plays with Jacobs in the passing game.
Yeah, double moves to the cows come home. Slanting goes, hitching goes, stuttering goes, drag routes, create natural rub routes. The mesh concept is the best play in football for man, maybe not the best, but solid play for man coverage. So there is so much you can do. I mean, it's like you got your whole playbook in front of you versus man defense. And now I will say though, if you have inferior talent to who's guarding you in man, it makes for a long night. But if you can make them and create openings for them, boy, you can really puncture a hole in that defense.
All right, final one. I know we got to get you out of here, but y'all mentioned Blake Baker. Blake Baker is an elite defensive coordinator. We know that. Love what he does. I love his system and everything about it. And when he's got players that are really, really good, they will send pressure. I think they pressure somewhere around 40-45% of the time, Perry. So you can count on the fact that there's going to be an extra hat or two headed your way if you're a LaNorris Sellers this weekend. Carolina, obviously, this year their bugaboo has been sacks. If you take away the sack yardage, actually they've run the football decently, to be quite frank. So what do you do here? You're talking about man coverage. I know, Harbor, Jacobs, et cetera, et cetera. Got it. But, what is important about the pressure that LSU will send for South Carolina to be able to defend that? And where's the safety valve for LaNorris Sellers this weekend if he does get into trouble other than his own legs?
Playing a defensive coordinator that pressures. This was a very fun thing to do during the course of the week in game prep was you can spot and find blitz indicators for anything that teams do based off of defensive line technique, linebacker alignment, etc. So our staff has to do a good job of finding those indicators, what tips that off, and then communicating that to LaNorris. And then LaNorris's job, communicate with the O-line and then know where the hots are. But if you tip it and you can see when they're coming and the tendencies of when they come, then you can time it up to call screen plays accordingly. When things get tight, whether on offense and defense, regardless coaching, you revert to what you know. And when you do that, then you become just an indicated machine. Then I know, okay, we're moving the ball. He blitzes on second and long. here comes the blitz, tunnel screen, bam, now we're ripping out the gate. Those are the things where the coaches can help LaNorris become a better player, but those are also something that the quarterback has to take upon himself to go and identify. So LaNorris's ability to escape will be huge, especially on big pressure teams.
Well, I hope Carolina can escape with a victory. It would get things headed back in the right direction in a hurry if they can do it this weekend with Oklahoma and Alabama due up in Columbia in the next couple of weeks, Barry. We'll see. I'm with you. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a very good game. I think South Carolina can win the football game.
27-24. Take it to the bank. Gamecocks win.
You said 27?
27-24. South Carolina's winning the game. Take it to the bank.
27-24. Are those all offensive points, or are we going to mix in a defensive score? I know
we're going to get all offensive, but a couple will come off of 2 turn. We're going to win the turnover margin by 2. We're going to
27-24. If you're right, you're right. You're buying dinner next Friday night before the Oklahoma game. Okay,
done.
I'm with you. All right, I'll
3
hop
touchdowns
on board.
and 2 field goals.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. LaNorris throws for 2 and runs for 1.